Well, Kansas City, you are home to a champion tonight in one of the most topsy-turvy, heart-pounding, incredible games you could ever see. Sporting KC won the MLS Cup. KCTV5's Alice Barr is live at Sporting Park, where fans brave the cold and are enjoying one of the all-time great victories. Alice.
Dave, I am a former soccer player myself, so this was awesome for me tonight. We got to be inside Sporting Park and see the championship shootout wrap up. There were big goals, amazing saves, and just a huge win for Sporting Kansas City tonight. That moment when a team becomes champion. Sporting KC pulled it out in dramatic fashion.
Freaking amazing! It came down to kicks and they won it.
That's a penalty kick shootout. The deciding factor after 90 minutes of play and 30 minutes of overtime ended in a 1-1 tie. It was a lot of game for freezing fans to cheer through. The coldest MLS Cup in history with a wind chill of 12. Fans bundled up creatively like this panda bear mask. Is it good luck?
It apparently so. And it's amazingly warm.
Warm sporting gear didn't last long on the shelves.
The scarves should be up here, and they're all gone. The hats are over there. We only have white. We had navy too, but we're all out of those.
Wow.
And the gloves would be over here. We're out of gloves.
Some fans even opted to watch the game on big screens inside or peering through the windows.
Our seats are outside somewhere.
Somewhere much colder than where you are.
Absolutely, yes.
But for the diehards, nothing could keep them away.
This isn't cold. It doesn't matter. I'm in the blue hell, and that's all that matters to me.
It's the team's first win since 2000 when they were still called the Wizards. And since then, new ownership, rebranding, and a new stadium has sent their popularity soaring.
It's growing, and as you can see, I mean, 3 years ago, we wouldn't have had nearly this many people at a game. Wouldn't have thought that was possible.
So lots of fans pointed out inside tonight that this is really like the Super Bowl of soccer, and they know that they don't quite have the following that the Chiefs do, but they are hoping that this big win tonight will boost Sporting KC's status in this town and boost Sporting Kansas City's reputation, the whole city's reputation, as one of the big soccer cities in the U.S. Reporting live from Sporting Park, Alice Barr, KCTV 5 News.
All right, Alice, go get one.
Well, it's certainly been a season to remember. Sporting KC is now on top as they claim the MLS Cup trophy. KNBC9 Sports Director Johnny Kane has been out all evening and talked with the team after the game, and he joins us now from Sporting Park.
Sporting Kansas City 2013 MLS Cup champions. Let that settle in for just a second. You know, when you think about a city that's so starved of a title in a major professional sport, Sporting Kansas City comes through, beating Real Salt Lake in a shootout on Major League Soccer's biggest stage.
We're so happy that we're able to reward them back for the support that they continue to give us through everything, in the thick and the thin. And so, yeah, it's an exciting time for Kansas City.
They deserve this, and we are very happy to bring this trophy to this city.
I don't feel like a champion yet. You know, it's got to get through your head. But there's no doubt about it. It's a proud moment right now. You know, this is what I've been dreaming about since we came here to Kansas City 4 years ago. And it's pretty awesome.
2013 MLS Cup champions, Sporting Kansas City. That is their second title, going with the one they won back in 2000 when they were known as the Kansas City Wizards. Reporting from Sporting Park, I'm Johnny Kane, KNBC9 News.
And thousands of Sporting KC fans braved the weather for the coldest MLS Cup game in history. Now they're warming up with a big celebration. KNBC9's Matt Evans is live to show us what they're doing tonight. Matt?
Well, it's a long time coming, Diane. Another national championship has finally returned to Kansas City. The last one happened back in 2000, so fans are going to be out partying and celebrating pretty much all night. A wild and crazy and historic night here at Sporting Park, and one the fans were just happy to be a part of.
The game was wild. I'm telling you, that was insane. I was at I was at all the playoff games, but that one, by far, insane. That was nuts.
Oh, yeah!
And insane it was. Fans braved these frigid temperatures to cheer on the now national champion Sporting Kansas City. More than 21,000 came out to the sold-out Sporting Park, and I'm not sure how many of them left with a voice. It took a total of 10 penalty kicks to pull out the crazy victory, and that sent fans on a roller coaster of reaction.
It went from this to this to this to this to this. I mean, it was nuts.
We played our hearts out. We deserve this. Now we have a building year. Now we just come back and we play even better next year. It's building year.
Awesome.
And we won. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know, the best.
There's no better feeling than this.
How good does it feel to be national champions?
Does that describe it?
Yes, it
Good.
does. That was a good way to describe it.
Good
way to describe it. All right.
It's the best I can do.
And it was a pretty good night for Sporting fans. Now think about this. Kansas City might be turning into a soccer town. Sporting Kansas City last won the national championship back in 2000 as the Wizards. Last time the Royals won, 1985. Last time the Chiefs won, 1970. We are live here at Sporting Park, the home of the new national championship team. Reporting live, Matt Evans, KNBC 9 News.
Looks like you found quite a character there, Matt. Thank you. Well, Kansas Governor Sam Brownback took to Twitter tonight to congratulate the team on their win. The Missouri Tigers.
Well, good evening, everybody. What a year it's been for Sporting Kansas City and its loyal fan base. And it'll end by painting the wall and adding a Major League Soccer championship. To a chilly Kansas City, Kansas, we go for MLS Cup 2013 at Sporting Park between Sporting KC and Real Salt Lake. One game, winner takes all. The Sporting faithful really needed those scarves today. 5th minute, this isn't good. Yuri Rosell goes down with a leg injury. It looked like it was his ankle. He had to leave the game. We are scoreless through the first half of this thing, but in the 52nd minute, Real Salt Lake breaks through. That's Alvaro Saborio. He beats the White Puma, and Real Salt Lake had a 1-0 lead. It stayed that way until the 76th minute. That's when the Frenchman, the agitator, bald is beautiful. Aurelian Collin with a header. It's the equalizer, so we're tied at a goal apiece. It stayed that way through 30 minutes of overtime. So we go to penalty kicks. Sporting KC up 3-2. Graham Zusi can win it, but he had to go against Salt Lake keeper Nick Raimondo, his teammate on the national team. Zusi's kick, high, no good. Sudden death PKs now, so a chance for Real Salt Lake to win the cup, but Jimmy Nielsen came up big. Kept the season, kept the dream alive. Manager Peter Vermes won a cup as a player in Kansas City. He went into the Soccer Hall of Fame this year, but all he can do is sit by and watch and hope. Aurelian Collin would put Sporting KC up 7-6 in PK. So it came down to this. Real Salt Lake's Lavelle Palmer versus Nielsen, mano a mano. I'm going to stop talking now.
Palmer to keep RSL alive, to deny Kansas City one more time. Can he do it? Palmer! He has it! And the trophy belongs to Kansas City!
Yes, it does. Sporting Kansas City, Major League Soccer champs. They win at 7-6 on sudden death penalty kicks. Fans rush the field. Peter Vermes pointed to ownership in the box, and the boys, guess what they got to do? Raise the trophy. Great stuff. Here's the final score for you. It officially goes down as a 2-1 win. Aurelian Collin named MVP. He had the equalizer, and the winner in sudden death, Sporting KC, champions of Major League Soccer.
Our mentality, the style of game is playing real soccer. So when we were 1 goal down, we really play soccer and trying to move forward as quick as possible. If not, being patient with the ball. And we had a lot of opportunity. And I feel very happy that at the end we win that game.
The nucleus of players that have been here for the last 3-4 years, a part of this project, I know that this is something they've wanted. It's something that they've worked extremely hard for, and they stayed focused to it. And then, you know, our fans, and then finally the owners. It's just something it's great to see that everybody gets rewarded.
It's special to do it in front of these fans who deserve it, who stuck by us, and for the whole group, and for the players that have been in the playoffs the last few years and not been able to get to where they want to get to, and this year just kind of resembles what we've achieved in these last few seasons.
So congrats to Sporting KC, second MLS Cup in just 18 years in Major League Soccer. Monday night, 6:30 at the Power and Light District. There will be a public celebration for the 2013 Major League Soccer champions, Sporting KC. Should be a lot of fun. Love it. All right, Missouri.
Well, the MLS Cup turned out to be a game of endurance, enduring bitter cold weather, enduring 30 minutes of overtime, and the longest penalty kick shootout in championship history. In the end, Kansas City overcame it all, beating Real Salt Lake. 72nd minute, Sporting down by a goal when Graham Zusi with a corner kick sets up Aurelian Collin with the equalizer. He heads it in the net. This game is all even at 1. Now it stayed that way through overtime into a sudden death shootout. Aurelian Collin put KC up 7-6 in the 10th round. Real Salt Lake needed to answer, but as you see, they could not. Jimmy Nielsen with the stop. Sporting Kansas City wins the MLS Cup.
This is definitely a big cherry on top at the moment. It's tremendous to be able to bring this home and win it here in our city.
Drivers to be careful. Now, it could be cold outside, but Sporting KC is red hot. The team won the MLS Cup in overtime. We have a live team coverage. Shannon Halligan is at Sporting Park, where fans were on the edges of their seats. First, Frank Bowl is in the newsroom with the final moments of the big game. Frank.
Yeah, Jenna, what a game. Tied 1-1 after 90 minutes of regulation play, and then they played 2 15-minute extra time periods, and it all came down to this, the 10th round of penalty kicks, and Real Salt Lake's Lovo Palmer needs this one. The ball's going to hit the crossbar and bounce straight down without crossing the goal line. That's it. Celebration begins. Sporting wins the MLS Cup 2-1 over Real Salt Lake. An emotional night for Jimmy Nielsen, the White Puma.
As I said 4 years ago when I came here, I wanted to be a champion again. And of course, I know I'm not playing another 10 years. So this here is a big moment. It's a proud moment.
Lots of emotion in our locker room coming up in sports. All the highlights and post-game from today's big win. Jenna?
Today's game was the coldest MLS Cup in history, but the atmosphere in the Sporting Park was electric, especially after that last kick. 41 Action News reporter Shannon Halligan was in the stadium with fans as the celebration began.
Yeah, it was incredible. Sporting KC fans have been electric all year, and it's quiet here at Sporting Park now, but just a couple hours ago, it was explosive. Your 2013 MLS champions, Sporting Kansas City, but it wasn't an easy win.
I was very nervous. I was very stressful.
A tied game, then overtime, then in penalty kicks. 10 heart-stopping rounds of penalty kicks.
I had tears, I had mixed feelings. It was just so crazy. It's like, the cup came back home. You know, it came back home. 13 years coming, but it came back home.
Did you think it could happen?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen.
And it happened during the coldest MLS Cup in history. But these fans didn't seem to mind.
Cold at first, but once you get in there and they're playing and you're singing and chanting, cold doesn't really matter and keeps you going all game.
The governor of Kansas and the governor of Utah placed some friendly bets, and Governor Sam Brownback will be receiving some honey and saltwater taffy from the governor of Utah. For now, we're live at Sporting Park. Shannon Halligan, 41 Action News.
Our coverage.
Kansas City, celebrate. You've got a champion. Sporting Kansas City wins the MLS Cup over Real Salt Lake. What a game. Battling frigid temperatures. These two tried to stay warm, beating each other up. This looked like American football minus the pads in the first half. Sporting fell behind 1-0 in the second half, but here they come. Check out Aurelian Collin, airborne with the header in the 76th minute. Regulation and 2 extra periods went by without another goal. So we go to the penalty kick shootout, tied 1-1. Sporting Kansas City's Graham Zusi had a chance to put the game away in the 4th round of the shootout, but it flew over the goal. Real Salt Lake's Sebastian Velasquez also had a chance to win it in the 8th round of the shootout, but Sporting's Jimmy Nielsen stopped it right there. This was it. Real Salt Lake's Lovo Palmer needed this one. It bangs off the crossbar and never crosses the goal line. Look at this. They sort of hesitate for a minute. No one knew what to do. And then the celebration began. Sporting Kansas City wins the MLS Cup 2-1 over Real Salt Lake. It's the franchise's first title in 13 years, and so much has changed in this sport, including the team name, from Wizards to Sporting, but they both have one thing in common. They're the best in the MLS.
No matter where you go and no matter where you're driving, you're seeing people with Sporting KC markers and jerseys. And it is those people who deserve this trophy today.
I'm a Kansas City guy, and I feel just like they feel. And I'm proud that we get to bring the MLS Cup home back to Kansas City.
We need to take this as a stepping stone into the years to come and try to become one of the dominant teams in the league.
Using the 9 News app.
To Kansas City!
Well, it's been a season to remember. Sporting KC is now on top as they claim the MLS Cup trophy. KBC 9 Sports Director Johnny Kane has been out at the game all night and joins us now from Sporting Park.
Sporting Kansas City 2013 MLS Cup champions. Let that settle in for just a second. You know, when you think about a city that's so starved of a title in a major professional sport, Sporting Kansas City comes through, beating Real Salt Lake in a shootout on Major League Soccer's biggest stage.
We're so happy that we're able to reward them back for the support that they continue to give us through everything in the thick and the thin. And so, yeah, it's an exciting time for Kansas City.
They deserve this, and we are very happy to bring this trophy to this city.
I don't feel like a champion yet. You know, it's got to get through your head. But there's no doubt about it. It's a proud moment right now. You know, this is what I've been dreaming about since we came here to Kansas City 4 years ago. And it's pretty awesome.
2013 MLS Cup champions, Sporting Kansas City. That is their second title, going with the one they won back in 2000 when they were known as the Kansas City Wizards. Reporting from Sporting Park, I'm Johnny Kane, KMBC 9 News.
Well, thousands of Sporting KC fans braved the weather for the coldest MLS Cup game in history. And now they're warming up with the big celebration. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is here to show us what they're doing tonight.
And an insane game it really was. The game kept fans on the edge of their seats if they were even standing. 21,000, more than 21,000 came out to see the game, and I don't think a single one of them left with their voices still intact. It took 10 penalty kicks for Sporting Kansas City to pull out the wild victory, and those 10 penalty kicks took fans on a roller coaster ride.
The game was wild. I'm telling you, that was insane. I was at I was at all the playoff games, but that one, by far, insane. That was nuts.
And an insane game it really was. The game kept fans on the edge of their seats if they were even standing. 21,000, more than 21,000 came out to see the game, and I don't think a single one of them left with their voices still intact. It took 10 penalty kicks for Sporting Kansas City to pull out the wild victory, and those 10 penalty kicks took fans on a roller coaster ride.
It went from this to this to this to this to this. I mean, it was nuts.
We played our hearts out. We deserve this. Now we have a building year. Now we just come back and we play even better next year. It's building year.
Awesome.
And we won. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
They're the best.
There's no better feeling than this.
How good does it feel to be national champions?
Oh. Does that describe it?
Yes, it does. That was a good way to describe it.
Good
way to describe it. Now think about this. Kansas City might be turning into a soccer town. Now the soccer team has brought the last 2 national championships here to Kansas City. Sporting KC won it as the Wizards back in 2000. The last time another major league team brought a championship to the city. The Royals did it in 1985, and the Chiefs did it in 1970. At Sporting Park, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
And Kansas Governor Sam Brownback took to Twitter tonight to congratulate the team on their win. The Missouri Tigers.
Well, the MLS Cup turned out to be a game of endurance, enduring bitter cold weather, enduring 30 minutes of overtime, and the longest penalty kick shootout championship history. In the end, Kansas City overcame it all, beating Real Salt Lake 72nd minute. There you go. Aurelian Collin with the equalizer. He heads it into the net, and this game is all tied up at 1. It stayed that way through overtime into sudden death. Aurelian Collin putting up KC 7-6 in the 10th round of the shootout. Real Salt Lake needed to answer, but they could not. Jimmy Nielsen with the stop. Sporting KC wins the MLS Cup. The final in extra time, 7-6 on penalty kicks.
You know, Sporting Kansas City fans always believe that they will win, and tonight they did. beating Real Salt Lake in a shootout in Major League Soccer's biggest stage.
The reason why I'm so happy about this one is because the rebrand of this club, all the change that has gone on, the building of this team, our owners and the way that they're committed to this club, it's a great reward for them and our fans and our organization. And I'm glad because they deserve it, and it just makes them want it more next time around, and they understand what it's all about now.
How about the effort of Jimmy Nielsen, the team captain and emotional leader of this team? In fact, when we talked to him afterward, the emotions got the best of the White Puma.
After a big final like this, you don't want to sit back and have this feeling you would have given a little bit more. You want to give everything you have and bring everything you have. So no matter what the result is, you can look yourself in the mirror after the game and say, all right, I gave everything I have. And that's exactly what my teammates did today. And now I can't talk anymore.
So it was an emotional night for a lot of people. We are champions here in Kansas City. Sporting KC claims the 2013 MLS Cup. Reporting from Sporting Park, I'm Johnny Kane, KMBC 9 Sports.
All right, Shannon, thank you. While many fans were focused on Missouri, thousands of diehard and dedicated fan base of Sporting Kansas City were out there freezing for a reason in those temperatures to watch Sporting win the MLS Cup.
It's very cold, and it took much longer than the 90 minutes of regulation, but some fans say it was well worth it. Fox 4's Eric Burke has fan reaction.
It took a long time, then overtime, but Kansas City is now home to the MLS Cup. They say good things are worth waiting for. Sporting Kansas City fans learned that the cold way. Despite sunshine at kickoff, the field was still partially frozen. But not the fans. They knew what was at stake and layered up to stay warm and support their team.
I've never seen the crowd like this before. It was just amazing. It was so much fun.
After a scoreless first half, Real Salt Lake struck first in the second. Sporting was down, the temperature fell even lower, but fans didn't let either get them down.
I believe! I never gave up hope! It's so amazing!
Sporting later tied the game, and regulation ended with the team still tied. Then after 30 more minutes of overtime, deadlock. It was amazing! I couldn't ask for a better game! Awesome! The best game ever! After more than 120 minutes, it came down to penalty kicks, and all eyes were on goalkeeper Jimmy Nielsen.
Yeah, I had all my faith in Jimmy. Let's go, Jimmy!
Jimmy probably couldn't help but hear the chant in the stands, and his block on the last penalty kick sealed the MLS Cup. Having a championship team right here in the hometown is awesome. It was easy to see the Sporting Kansas City players felt the same way. After the Cup presentation and a host of fireworks, they worked their way all around Sporting Park, waving and cheering to the fans. Jimmy Nielsen took it one step further and gave the fans in the Cauldron a bow. They were right behind him when he made that clinching save. The confetti barely stopped falling, but fans are all ready for a repeat in 2014. Eric Burke, Fox 4 News, working for you at Sporting Park.
All right, Eric, got a little bit more.
Sporting Kansas City delivers a championship, the first major sports title around here in 13 years. Hello, everybody. We'll have more on the celebration at Sporting Park in a couple of minutes. First... Okay, over 21,000 fans at Sporting Park endured freezing conditions and the longest penalty kick shootout in MLS playoff history, but they were rewarded with a championship. Sporting Kansas City hosting Real Salt Lake, playing for that MLS Cup. RSL scored first in the 52nd minute. Alvaro Saborio. Aurelian Collin answered for Sporting Kansas City with the equalizer, his third goal in the postseason. It remained tied after 120 minutes, so it went into a shootout, and it comes down to Jimmy Nielsen versus RSL's Nick Raimondo. RSL had a chance to win the shootout in the 8th minute, but Nielsen knocks it down to the 10th round, still tied. Collin just out of Raimondo's reach. So RSL needs this one to keep it going. It's off the crossbar, and Sporting Kansas City wins its second MLS Cup, the first since 2000 when they were the Wizards. Collin is the MVP.
I just
I don't know. I didn't want to think too much because when you think too much, it's hard to score a PK, you know. So I go there and I always put it on the right. So I did it. And thank God he went through. So I'm very happy for everybody, for the team.
I can't tell you how proud I am and how happy I am for the guys because I know what it's like as a player to win an MLS Cup, and it's a special moment because you'll always have that as a player, and nobody can ever take that away from you. And for them, and I know the trials and tribulations that you go through as a player, and these guys, they're committed. They love this club. They truly are committed to this city. So, and then the final piece is the fans. Our environment out there is just absolutely incredible.
An unbelievable and an awesome way to cap an amazing year of soccer here in Kansas City.
You said it, Jason. Thanks a lot.